Springs Planning Mission Commission to order. Roll call, please.
T. Williams.
Here.
K. Williams.
Here.
Bernard.
Here.
Song.
Here.
Please join me in Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Thank you. You've all received the minutes from our meeting on May the 14th, 2024. Do I hear a motion to approve said minutes?
I move we approve the minutes of the May 14th meeting.
I have a motion to approve May 14th minutes. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Minutes are approved. First item on tonight's agenda is a final plat development permit, FPC 2402. Ms. Megan,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't know why it's not on the screens. Oh, there we go. Okay. This is a final, Megan Thomas Planner 1, sorry. This is a final plat request for property located at the 300 subdivision, with changes made since the previous preliminary plat approval. The proposed change decreases the overall size of Phase 1. Well, okay. This is the proposed final plat for Phase 1 of the subdivision. The layout of the streets and lots matches the previously approved preliminary plat, and a turnaround area has been provided for fire access north of Lot 53, and that's this lot right here. This turnaround is temporary and will be removed with Phase 2 construction. Previously, the intent was for Phase 1 to cover this entire area. However, as you can see, they have a Phase 1B now over to the east that they're leaving out of that area. And this is the overall site view of the property. Staff has not received any calls or correspondence on this request, and staff is recommending approval of this request with the conditions as shown in your staff report, and staff is available for any questions that you may have. Thank you.
thank you, Megan. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to address this development permit? Please come to the microphone, state your name and address.
Good afternoon, Ron Holmeyer, Civil Engineering, 701 South Mount Olive Street. As she said, the developer has decided to do Phase 1 in two parts, Phase 1A and then Phase 1B, just to have the ability to sell them. It's taken a while to get to this point, so he's wanting to sell some lots while he continues on with the rest of Phase 1. We do have, in discussing it with the developer, he has an objection to recommendation number 3, or staff condition number 3, about each lot having to be graded to match a grading plan. That grading plan was prepared back a couple of years ago when the builder that is looking to buy these was requiring a flat pad. That is no longer the case, and so we have no need for the pads. Staff is asking that we do it according to the grading plan, but I'm not aware of any city code that requires the lots to be graded degraded to that degree and in that fashion, and so therefore we're requesting that that condition be removed. Thank you.
Any other comments? Anyone else from the audience got any comments to address this? Commissioners?
Will we be voting to remove that condition? Is that what we're
Well-
considering this evening, and shouldn't we hear from staff?
The recommendation is with those conditions, but I think we need to hear from staff as to why those conditions need to stay on there and to address what the engineer has requested. So
Yeah.
can I, Ms. Megan, can I get someone from staff to?
Absolutely. Kevin Moore, city engineer. So we've been seeing a lot of recent developments where the developer has pushed the grading off on the home builder, and the home builder has turned around and not done that grading. And in this case, it doesn't stipulate that it has to be done by the developer. It could be done by the builder, but it would need to be done prior to building permit issuance. So, and they would, of course, have the option to provide an amended grading plan if they no longer wish to follow what was provided a couple years ago.
That answers my question. Thank you.
Trying to think of how to word the follow-up.
Yeah.
So you're saying that the builder doesn't have to do it, but they could, so before each building permit could be issued, it would have to be done? It could be done individually?
The way we're recommending it, we would not issue a building permit unless the lot for that building permit was graded to drain
But that's for each lot
for
individually?
each individual lot, correct?
Okay, so it doesn't stop the finishing of the Phase 1 project of road and all that stuff?
Correct. And we're also not requiring it to be done by any specific individual. It just simply has to be done prior to building permit issuance.
Ron Holmeyer, Civil Engineering again. I understand, but that's not the request. We request that the work not have to be done as the grading plan showed, because that's not what the builder's wanting to do anymore, and that's not what the developer has in his budget to do anymore. And so somebody's gonna pick up an additional expense here, which will be passed on to the ultimate home buyer if this requirement, which is not required by code, is added as a condition to this plat approval.
Would you like to respond to that?
Kevin Moore, City Engineer. Yeah, just kind of in response. So we approved a construction plan set with that grading provided based on that grading. If the developer wishes to amend the grading in order to save cost, they're welcome to do so at any time.
So if we move to, Mr. Chairman, if we move to approve this as it is tonight, the builder has the option still to amend the grading request. Is that?
Yeah. Based on their conversation, we could possibly reword it to say matching a grading plan approved by the city. Instead of saying the approved grading plan.
Okay.
So each lot shall match a grading plan approved by the city?
Prior to building permit issuance, yes.
I want to ask the engineer for the project to come back to the microphone, please, Ron.
Yes, sir.
Is the builder acceptable to us amending the recommendations?
I don't think so, but I haven't gotten a text from him, so I can't say for sure. The developer did not want that condition on there in any form or fashion. I do know that much.
What we're really approving tonight is just an adjustment to the original build with all the criteria in place. And if we go ahead and approve that, these 5 acres can go ahead and be in the process of being built out with 15 homes, as I read on here. So anything beyond that, he can come back with requests at another time. Would that be right, Chris?
So essentially what's being discussed here is that there's been an approved plan set. That approved plan set has a grading plan associated with it. That grading plan is what was approved with this project. The city engineers assessment of this is that we have had issues with individual lot grading. So for us as staff to be able to issue the building permit, the grading plan has to be complete to what was approved. This, the approval as proposed by staff would ensure that that site grading is done before the individual houses get permitted. That way that we don't experience that same issue that we've had repetitively from individual lot owners with drainage issues in the backyard. As of right now, if we do not have that condition, this moves forward for a final plat approval. Without that condition of approval, then there's a possibility that would move forward with grading permits without the approved grading plan being complete, and it may not match in the final.
Thank you.
Sorry, one more time. Ron
Okay,
Harmon.
Ron.
You know, if staff is needing their lots to be graded a certain way before they're comfortable issuing building permits, then they need to pass a city code that requires the grading. This is my contention at this point.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I wouldn't argue that point, but I also do know from experience, there have been a lot of houses built on properties here that weren't graded properly, and I've been to enough city meetings to know the fight that the cities had to invest in correcting a lot of those issues that could have been taken care of up front. And if we put this in here as a grading program approved by the city, I would be okay with that, because to leave it as nothing, it seems like they could just scrape the property off, lay some rock down, and start building. And I'm not saying that's what they would do, Ron. I'm just saying it seems like that's a possibility of what could happen. And I don't disagree that it should go through as an ordinance, but until it does, I think the only option we have is us as a planning commission or the city administrator or the city board being able to say, this is what we need to do until there's an ordinance in place.
Any other questions or comments from the commissioners on this development permit? Okay, that being the case, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion for approval of FCC 2402, subject to the conditions 1 and 2 and 3 to be edited to Chris, exact wording?
Each lot shall be graded to drain, matching a grading plan approved by the city prior to building permit issuance.
I don't have to repeat that, do I?
You can state as stated by staff.
As stated by staff.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve FPC 2402 with the recommendations as stated. Roll call, please.
Smith,
Yes.
Williams, I'm sorry, K. Williams,
Yes.
Bernard,
Yes.
Song,
Yes.
T. Williams.
Yes.
Motion is approved. This will go to the Board of Directors on July the 2nd, 2024. Next item on the agenda is a rezoning permit, RZ 2405.
Megan Thomas, Planner 1. This is a rezoning request for property located at 2200 Highway 16. The applicant is requesting to rezone 5.96 acres from I-1 industrial to PD planned development, as well as to amend the housing density cap on the existing PD zoned lot. If you look at the general area map on your screen, you can see that the northern portion of this property is already zoned PD planned development. However, again, they are requesting to amend that density cap on that zoning. This is the future land use map for the property. As you can see, the area is intended to serve as industrial. Therefore, the applicant is requesting to amend the future land use designation for the properties from industrial to neighborhoods 3 to allow for a multifamily residential development. And this is the proposed concept plan for the planned development. So the plan consists of 4 and 6-plex multifamily residential units with planned amenities, including, I'll go ahead and draw in some areas. So including some community gardens, that's these little corners here, that's where the community gardens will be. A playground area with some pavilions, that's over here. You got another pavilion down there. And it will also have walking trails all extended throughout the development to allow for connectivity. They're also leaving a remaining 4 acres out to the southwest corner there. They're going to leave that as industrial to address the concern related to the future land use designation for the property so that we have a viable industrial lot there. Again, the northern portion of this property, that's this square area here, is already zoned for PD planned development. The previous PD ordinance capped the density of the development at 132 dwelling units with a density of 9.37 dwelling units per acre. That cap was only for the northern portion of this lot. The applicant is now requesting to expand the development area to include a portion of that Lot 2 industrial area as shown on this plan, and therefore is requesting to revise the previously imposed density cap for Lot 1. The newly proposed density for the development is approximately 7.4 dwelling units per acre, resulting in a total of 152 residential dwelling units, which is about 20 dwelling units more than what was previously approved for just Lot 1. However, in light of the increase in dwelling units, the applicant has agreed to construct a connection of East Quarter Road from Highway 16 to Waukesha in order to accommodate for the additional traffic along Highway 16 there, which is much needed. Oh, sorry, I keep forgetting that doesn't click. Okay, these are their standards that they're proposing. So shown on the left side of the screen are the standard requirements in the PD zoning. As many of you may recall, PD does allow them to customize their standards as needed. So some of the standards that they're customizing here are the lot widths and lot area. So they're decreasing that lot width by 10 feet, but they're also increasing the minimum lot size to 6,000 square feet. So that's a bonus there. With lot coverage, we have them increasing that to 50% from 40% to 50%. That was due to us asking them to leave out that remaining 4 acres of industrial. And so with that, we kind of compromised on the lot coverage for it, which also impacts the minimum open space. So now you have 50% open space, 50% lot coverage permitted. And we did get that industrial out of that deal, basically. And then you see the density, which I referenced already on that. So they're changing that now with this request. And then this is the survey for the property. So with future development of the property, a property line adjustment will be required. So that will be them adjusting the property lines to basically only be the PD area that you're zoning it to now. And this is the overall site view of the property. Shown here in the yellow is the proposed extension of the street. So you can see we're connecting from Highway 16 to Waukesha over there. With that connection, that will be required as a condition of approval with any future significant development for this project. And staff has received 2 calls of questioning nature on this request and no correspondence. Staff is recommending approval with no needed conditions, and staff is available for any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Megan. Is there anyone from the audience who would like to come up and address this rezoning permit? Seeing no movement from the audience, commissioners, do you have any comments concerning this development?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes?
The extension of the road there, I'm really happy to see that. That was a big issue with me last time this came up. Is that going to be done to city standards? Is it a temporary half-road thing? What's the situation with that?
Their current proposal, sorry, Kevin Moore, city engineer. Their current proposal is to construct that at the major local standards of 32 feet in width. And they would be doing all those improvements off-site from Highway 16 to Waukesha.
That should help some of the traffic on 6.
Well, and with this, I was concerned when I first saw the density until I saw that piece and was like, oh, okay.
Mr. Chair. Yeah, this was something that we talked about in between staff whenever we were looking at this proposal, and we appreciated that that the applicant did work with us on this, and I think that this was a big win for this area. We did discuss that this was a concern from the Planning Commission previously, and that was part of our consideration when this was given a staff review and a staff approval, or excuse me, a recommendation of staff approval.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions from commissioners? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Chairman, I move to approve RZ 24-05, the rezone development permit as presented by staff.
I have a motion to approve RZ 2405. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Kay Williams,
Yes.
Bernard,
Yes.
Song,
Yes.
T. Williams,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes. Motion is approved. This goes to the Board of Directors on July the 2nd, 2024. Next on our agenda is easement assessments.
Okay, these are the easements that you're accepting. Does anyone have any questions?
Okay, you've all received these. Is there any questions of Ms. Megan? Hearing no questions or seeing no questions, I'll entertain a motion to accept the easements as presented.
So moved.
I have a motion to accept the easements as presented. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Bernard,
Yes.
Song,
Yes.
T. Williams,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Kay Williams.
Yes.
The dedicated utility easements right-of-ways has been accepted. Next item on the agenda is board and staff approval permits. You've all received a copy. Is there any questions or concerns on the staff and board-approved projects? Hearing no comments or questions, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
I have a motion for adjournment. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, so signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.